you're disqualified. So I don't know how we're gonna call that. We're probably gonna call it that way, all right? But just tell your kids to hang on to something when they're supposed to, relay race, they finish with the baton. Balloon relay, they gotta finish with an unbroken balloon. It's the same kind of a thing here. Does that make sense? The judge stands here, they look here, and they look there, okay? So they're really close to your kids, and for T&T, they just kind of walk down this way. Trek Journey, they're going to be planted here because it's going to go down this way, and then it's going to go back. So the second time, they're going to kind of follow them along. So they're really close. They're like this far away from your players. So they're going to see a disqualification. All right. All of the relay races we're going to hit, okay? The judge stands here, and they look down, they look at this pit. Your players are here. They're the ones who are going to receive the handoff. Your starters here. They run around, hand off to the next person, run around, hand off to the next person, and so on. This line right here, that little white line, has got nothing to do with a running race. It has everything to do with the first event, okay? Basketball relay or beanbag relay. That's just, let me go back. That's to make sure that this player doesn't come over here so when this team comes around, okay? So now, when we're in this game, but this line here is huge. And so is that pin. You come across that blue line, you are disqualified. You have entered another team zone. If you come over here, you're disqualified. You knock that pin over, you're disqualified. If you knock over one of the touch pins before the end of the game, you're disqualified. Okay? We kind of clear on that? Sparkies, we look the other way. T&T, you knock over a pin, you're done. Trek Journey, you knock over a pin, you're done. Yes?
So if you're waiting to get the baton and you go into blue and you're right, you're disqualified.
If you're waiting for a pass and you walk into the other team's zone, you are disqualified.
Okay. That's what I thought, but I wasn't sure. So
You're in their zone. Your passing zone for passing your baton is from here to here. It's where the baton is at. So if this is the baton and it's here and you reach your arm across, that's not a valid pass. If the baton is halfway over, you're good. Here, good. Here, good. Here, not good. It's where the baton is. Long time ago, when I was a kid, it was where your feet were and everything. Oh, it's terrible for judges to try to figure out. All we got to do is worry about where that baton is at. Okay? So, sprint relay for T&T Division 4, all right, we don't have that. So this game is non-existent for Division 4 T&T. All right, for Division 2, we have this game and this game. For Trek Journey, it's, 4 players, 2 laps each, I think, for the sprint relay. And then you have a marathon medley, which is 4 players, 1 lap, 2 lap, 3 lap, 4 lap, okay? Which is a blast to watch. All right, so we're clear on any of that? Any questions on the relay races? We're good? All right. That's the circle. Oh, passing zone. I don't know the order of these. So that's the passing zone, right? When I'm catching up to somebody, I'm not wailing on them with that. It's only these games, all right? So it's the running games, sprint, marathon, sprint relay, marathon relay, marathon medley, okay? 3-legged race. 2 laps, tag rules in effect. Get this almost every year. Somebody asks this question, so I'm just getting like, yes, the team in front of you is the slowest one in the world, and your kids run up their back, and they just don't seem to get out of the way in time. Well, guess what? That's called the breaks of the game, okay? Teach your kids how to pass, all right? In Trek Journey, I can't remember which one of them, if they fall down, there's one of them, I think it's Journey, you're disqualified. Trek, I think you're okay. So T&T, if they fall down, get them, keep running. But if somebody passes you while you're down on the ground, you're done, okay? And there's none of this, here, I'm gonna ask Dave to turn around. Here, there's none of this, putting my arm here, going, or shoving the other team, okay? If you send somebody to the ground when your team is passing them, yeah, they're out of the game because they got tagged, and you're out of the game for unsportsmanlike conduct. Okay, so I don't want to see the stiff arm at a full run sending somebody flying. You want to say something, Dave?
At Journey, where they have fall, you're down. Fall will be defined by either at a later date in a Zoom meeting or at the thing where we're going to clarify at the coaches meeting. Because some people say, okay, this is not a fall, this is not a fall. That wasn't a fall because it was my kid, and if it was another kid, I would say it was.
You might need to adjust the camera lens on.
Yeah, that thing, no, my gut's big enough, it shows up on the things. But if it turns out that whatever determination there is, Warren knows what's going on now, and Warren's not available right now. In the past, if a knee hit, I mean, we're not doing two knees in the thing. If a kid came down and hit the knee, if there's additional contact with the ground, one person said, well, what if it's just their hip and their knee was not? Well, that's that sprawled out. It's not, if it was another kid, another team's kid, I would say it was out. If it was my kid, I'm saying he's in. Then we're gonna have to have that thing. That's where we have that grace thing and coming up and going, okay, a fall is a fall. We're gonna have to accept the fact that it was your kid this year.
Suck it out.
It is, you know,
Well, 'cause
we don't have
we-
instant
Yeah.
replay for the NFL, and even if it is recorded, and I've had this happen where somebody was trying to show me a video of what happened one year. I'm not gonna look at your video from the stands. We're gonna make the call on the floor, and we're gonna ask that you honor our decision.
You also had someone apologize once, when they looked at their video.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
have somebody one time come up to me a year later at a meeting at conference and apologize because I really was correct, they looked at the video. So we're doing it by hand, you can't push them, move to the right quickly to get out of the way so your players get caught, get them out of the way. Sometimes it's better to go to the middle, but have them get out of the way. If they fall and they're tagged or whatever, get out of the way as fast as possible for that other team. And again, this tag rule is only in three-legged race, okay? Sometimes I have a kid who might be disqualified or finished a race as a circle director. I'll pull them to the middle. If they've already finished and they're so far in front of everybody else, stand in the middle by me, the circle director. I'll make sure that you're out of the way, kind of a thing. All right, tug of war. So this is for Division 2. Division 4, T&T, it's just 2 heats. I don't care if you send 6th graders out there and then 3rd graders or whatever like that, it's just 2 heats. But for Division 2, the order that you send your players out here matters. For Trek Journey, it's just 2 heats, it's boys then girls, all right? So the ropes are very different from Trek Journey than T&T. T&T is just a round rope. Trek Journey is kind of a spider type thing like this, or if it's a 3-way. We start with the rope taunt. Everybody's on the rope. They're not wrapping their arm around the rope, all right, because the rope goes taunt, boom, somebody's arm's broken. You know, especially when you got 300-pound, boys out there, Trek Journey, okay? So don't be wrapping arms around there, that kind of stuff. For Trek Journey, you both have to be hanging on, or everybody has to be hanging on the rope when we get the bag. For T&T, you got 2 players out there. Hey, one of them could not even be playing for all I care. If the other kid reaches back and grabs the bean bag, they won, okay? Does it make sense? Yes?
You don't have to have your hand on the rope to get the beanbag?
No,
No,
you
that one
do.
does.
You have to have your hand on the rope.
Okay,
But
sorry.
let's just, for T&T, both the kids don't need to be hanging onto the rope. For Trek Journey, I believe the rules state everybody's got to be hanging on the rope. So in other words, if I'm pulling like this and I got the one kid hanging on to the ring on the end for a Trek Journey, when I reach back and grab that bean bag, this person in front of me's got to be on the rope. Okay, does that make sense?
I thought there had to be one hand on the rope, is that not, then you grab the bag?
When you, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm holding on the rope, I'm reaching back here. I'm talking about the second player.
Oh, if they
For,
fall.
for
If
Trek
they're
Journey.
not hanging on the rope for T&T,
I see.
it doesn't matter. Trek Journey, it does.
Okay.
Okay?
So the one
So
you-
we have to have possession of the rope and the bag to win the game, and
You just
You
hold
keep-
on till they say you
hang on for all you're worth, okay? Because sometimes the kid reaches back, grabs the thing, and, the blink of an eye later, they let go. Well, did they really have possession? So just tell them to hang on. I mean, that's all I can say as a judge. hang on to the rope, okay? And you don't get to just let go of the rope, walk back here, grab the bean bag, and then walk up here and grab the rope. I mean, if that was the way we allowed to do it, I'd be teaching my kids to do it, but we don't get to do it that way. Any other questions? Yeah?
You said ordered in minutes, so are we having third graders and fourth graders together?
So this is for T&T
Yeah.
Division II, okay? We have the first two heats are just third and fourth graders. Next two heats are fifth and sixth. Division IV, there's only two heats. Doesn't matter what ages you put out there, okay?
Sorry.
All right. Any other questions on that? Oh, gloves, really handy,
So to speak.
you know? You like that? Really handy? Help me out.
It's better than 2020 hindsight, you know. It's-
All right, so now we have a sprint race and a marathon race, all right? Run fast. You can get caught, somebody can touch you, you gotta yield, okay? Same thing what we were talking about. So the sprint for TNT and Trek Journey, I'm sorry, for TNT, it's 3 laps, marathon is 6 laps, Trek Journey, it's 7, 8, something like that. It's a lot of laps.
7 and 9.
And again, Warren would have known this, but he had to go help some morning.
So yeah, Warren, you know, it's in your rule book for Trek Journey, how many laps. Here's the thing. You're counting, the judges are counting too, but they're not letting your kid know what lap they're on. That's your job as the coach. Please tell your kid when to go in. It's so disappointing when a kid has got the race won and they run an extra lap or they run in early, okay? Because the coach wasn't paying attention, or sometimes they're sitting on the line, okay? There's a couple games where you get to actually have an effect on your kids. Those running games are huge.